All right, so we'll get on to the opening fight of the main card, middleweights. Now, Bo Nickel obviously got the win and saw the second round for the first time in his career. I have to be honest as well. Like we mentioned this before. We made a video about Bo Nickel being champion somewhere down the line, and again, what I said in the live stream was, I am not sure now. I think
he's looking real sketchy.
It's looking real sketchy. But yeah, it was not an impressive performance. Brundage is awful, and while Nickel, like I said, he didn't look in any danger. Let's not go too far here. At no point in that fight were we thinking Brundage is going to beat him. No. But it's not like Bo Nickel blew him out of the water as well. Like, I wasn't impressed with his performance whatsoever.
Nope.
Yeah. So, like I said, he was supposed to justify his place on the card by going in there and destroying him in minutes. He didn't do that. So, bearing that in mind, what would you do? I mean, I imagine you're not going to have much things planned for Mr. Brundage, but what would you do with both those guys? We might as well talk about them.
Excuse me. For Cody was easy. I would have him fighting at LFA, Cage Warriors, some along those lines.
Not entirely.
Just, yeah, man. I mean, he's lost 4 out of 5. I don't think that there's a reason to really play around with this any longer. He was fed to Bo Nickel and survived longer than most thought he would. And, you know, he actually, what I will say though, for him is he was very professional, made weight, didn't bring attention to himself, unwanted attention to himself, and came in there and tried.
He came in there and tried. I'll tell you what, when I saw him actually in the interviews, I was actually like, he's kind of likable, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he was pretty humble about things. He seems fairly, don't want to go as far as to say smart, because that's ridiculous, but he seems likable, and I felt a little bit bad for shitting on him, because I'd obviously never heard him speak before. I was just pissed off at him because of his, let's just say, taking opportunities to get wins where they shouldn't have been there. But yeah. He's not.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. At least not at this point. You know, maybe later. I'm not sure, but he got paid and got to be, you know, on the biggest card in history. So fair play to him. But for Bo Nickel, I was not impressed by your performance, as George St. Pierre would say. And I think that, and he acknowledged it. He has a ways to go. I know I'm a person who really wanted to push for Bo Nickel against Joe Pyfer, but after what I just saw, I think Joe Pyfer destroys his life. But so I don't want to do that, but I do want to put him in there with somebody who will give him a test. So I would actually put him in there against the person that pretty much everybody has to go by to get to the belt, and that's Brad Tavares. I put him in there against a professional, against Brad Tavares, to see, like, where are you at? Brad is a little bit longer in the tooth, but he knows what he's doing, and he's a professional fighter, and he's not going to give it to Bo. So he's going to have to come and take it. I think that would be a dope fight, and it'll validate him. If he's able to beat Brad Tavares, that'll validate that you are a person that's really on the come up.
I don't hate that, and he was one that I considered. And I'm in agreement with you. Like, I think Bo Nickel is miles off being a middleweight contender. That's what we learned on Saturday night. I genuinely, I had a look at the entire rankings, and I thought, if they put him in there with anyone who's ranked right now, I think he gets fraud checked very hard. And personally, that would really amuse me because I hate when anyone is given unfair. Guy's 5 fights in and he's been given all these unfair opportunities. And the interesting thing is that middleweight actually has some dangerous guys outside the rankings as well that I think would be really tough for him.
They do.
Because in and around where he is unofficially, you've got people like Christian Leroy Duncan. I wouldn't fancy him in that fight.
Ooh, CLD, that's a big old boy, man.
Yeah. Shara Bullet. I'm not sure I'd love that for him either.
Shara Bullet can keep. Oh yeah, no.
That would not be nice.
Mm-mm.
But I do feel like in order to make him look like he's still something, you have to give him a recognizable contender. What now? Correct me if I'm wrong. Who mentioned Fluffy Hernandez? Maybe I was drunk at the time.
I remember. It's funny. We had a whole conversation about Fluffy, but I don't know who brought him up. I don't know if it was somebody in the chat. I don't know if he brought it up. I don't know who brought it up. But when I heard that,
I didn't make that up.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, absolutely not. Don't put that man in there, Fluffy.
Fluffy would murder
That would
him.
be so bad.
I'm not being a dick. He would.
It would be so bad.
So Brad Tavares was a name that I considered, but this might sound wild. Not that wild. I went with GM3.
Gerard Meerschaert.
Gerard Meerschaert. Yeah, because obviously he's a veteran. He's known by hardcores. He's coming off a win, and also he's chinny.
Yeah.
So they're both on similar timelines. GM3 recently fought. It would be interesting to see if Bo could handle somebody who's also got a very good submission threat as well. So I quite like the matchup. I think Bo Nickel, it's winnable, very winnable for him. And it gives him more time to learn and get his feet wet in MMA. Because as much as I rag on the dude, it was his 6th fight. And wrestling is a completely different thing. So what the Brundage fight showed is you're not quite ready for... We can't be having those conversations about... I can see why they're slow rolling him. And I can see why he took the time off. Because he clearly knows himself that he's got stuff to learn.
That's good. That's good. Good on him.
Yeah, and to be fair, you got to be realistic about your career. Obviously for Brundage, we don't care. He got his moment in the sun. He's ridden his luck so far. I do think they're going to give him one more, and I would give him one of those names: a Radzaboev, a Shara, a Duncan. Just let them finish him off and send him off to LFA or wherever.
Give him a Shara, man. Give him a Shara. See what's up.
Give him Shara, yeah. I wouldn't say.
I will say there was one other person that I thought about, but then I was like, nah, I can't do that to him. I thought about Chris Weidman. I actually thought about Chris Weidman.
Not for both.
For Cody. Give him somebody to step over.
Again, I did kind of consider it. I don't think they'll give Weidman anybody that low down. It'd be kind of fucked up. If I was Weidman, I'd take it. Weidman just needs to get wins right now before he leaves. Because if he gets anyone good, he's going to get fucking hurt. I still maintain that.